Hi guys, and welcome to Distilling, where today we're talking packing material. Now, I'm not talking about what we use to wrap up your orders before we send it out. We're talking about packing material for columns. Now, if you've ever done training with us, specifically the C1 course, our Introduction to Distilling course, you'd be familiar with reflux, and you know what reflux is. But just to quickly sum it up, reflux are cycles of evaporation and condensation that happens during the distillation process. And it's influenced either by fixed reflux or adjustable reflux. And without going into too much detail now, because this is not a training course, the fixed reflux is determined by the shape of the vapor path, which can either be the shape of the alembic head, the height of a column, and then the packing that we put inside that column, whatever we put in there to cause resistance. Now, some people use marbles, some people use copper pipe cut into rings, some people use glass chips. There's a lot of different things that can be used, but here at Distilling, we prefer to use copper mesh. Now, the reason for this is that copper fulfills a very important role in the distillation process, and that is the removal of sulfites that's formed during the fermentation process. So during fermentation, these compounds, some of it, for instance, hydrogen sulfide, H2S, otherwise known as rotten egg smell, forms during the fermentation. And that's something that we don't want ending up in our final product. The interesting thing about sulfites, though, is that in vapor form, they bind with copper. So having copper in the vapor path removes those sulfides from the fermentation. That's one of the reasons why stills are built out of copper, or why we have copper vapor chambers, copper columns, and so forth. So the more copper I have, the better for the quality of the product that I want to make in terms of sulfite removal. So if my packing, which increases my reflux and increases my purity, is also copper, that gives me a lot more exposure, a lot better product coming out the other side. The reason why we use mesh and we don't use rings is also that for the same volumes of space, mesh gives you a lot more contact area, giving you more reflux and more sulfite removal within a certain volume or certain length of column. The way to use this, very, very simple. We take the mesh and we cut it. Normal pair of scissors would work. Just don't use your wife's sewing scissors. She will not be very happy, voice of experience. So you take this and you roll it up very tightly in a little ball or a tube form. And then we take that and we place that inside our column. Now this, for instance, is a adjustable reflux column extension with a main reflux condenser and then an extension pipe that fits on our 13-liter round still. So I just take this and I've shoved that up into my column. And I do another one, and another one, and another one, until I've filled this up. You cannot roll too tight. It's gas. Gas will find a way to get there. You're not going to build up pressure or cause the still to explode. It's not possible. This is mesh. There's always a way for the vapor to find its way through. So you fill this column up with as much mesh as possible, and there you go. You've got an additional fixed reflux in your still. You've got packing inside your still, and you're removing sulfites at the same time.